Hi, I just wanted to take a moment to go through information about yoga props. So I get a lot of questions over the years, like, should I get my own and why do I really need them? And I'll just use the ones at the studio or the gym I go to. And I think today more than ever, we're getting a feeling that owning our own for hygienic purposes would probably be a great idea. And so not only that reason, I would suggest you get your own, but we're also now moving more towards online Zoom or video classes. So having your own at home now even becomes more important. So I wanted to go through a few of the more common props that we would use and how you might use them. And I'm going to start with a blanket. So there's a lot of different blankets you can find out there. And if you don't want to buy one, you can certainly use maybe a large, thick beach towel. That could work. You're going to find some thinner blankets and then some thicker wool ones. And this just happens to be a really nice, thick kind of cotton one that I found when on a trip to Mexico. I really liked them because they were so thick. So it really creates a lot more versatility with it. And with a blanket, you can fold it into various thicknesses. So it might be something that you use for the support of your head when you're on your back. Some people will open it up during the practice to use underneath the knees. If you happen to be on a hardwood floor, this can be really helpful. Sometimes people will open it all the way up for a little extra cushion if they're lying on their back. You can fold it thick enough to actually be almost a bolster, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, where sitting on that enables you to lift the hips a little bit and can create a little bit more ease in the knees and the hips as well. So they're really versatile. And then of course, at the completion of a yoga practice in Shavasana, can open it up and get underneath it and snuggle in. So that's really nice too. So if you were to buy only one prop, I would suggest the blanket. The other props that we use most commonly are the yoga blocks. And they come in various thicknesses. This is a 6-inch thickness. And I really recommend that because the thinner ones don't have quite as much stability. They tend to be softer. And these blocks in particular, you'll see have a little line. You'll see a line here. And what that is that it's a really solid piece of foam in there that creates a block that's a little more firm. And when you have a block, you've got various heights to the block, right? So I always like to say the flattest one is level 1, level 2, level 3. And so depending on your range of motion and flexibility, they can be really useful. So again, one way is just like I did on the blanket, you can sit on a block to lift your hips. Okay, so I often like to sit on the block and I'll even put a blanket on top of the block. So that's kind of nice. Another option is from hands and knees. You can use the block in our lunge poses that we might do in class, right? So if you bring one foot forward and you have the blocks here, and it just gives a little lift through the body. And again, 3 levels, so maybe you want a little bit more height, or maybe you like it all the way flat. But it just gives a little more space to move in the body. And so that's one way you can use them there. We use them in standing forward fold. So you might come from here, and as you come down, your hands come to the block before the floor. Well, at that level, you've got the second level, flat. And so it's just helpful for people if you have a hard time getting to the floor. And of course, we can always bend the knees as well. Another option that's really nice that we might use the blocks for is something like a restorative pose. So on your back, flattest level, is your flattest level. Place the block right underneath your sacrum for a little restorative bridge pose. Really nice for the low back. Just a restful place for the low back. Other options for blocks seated. We're coming into say, a bound angle pose, and you can place blocks underneath you. Again, you've got 3 levels. You can come up here and use the blocks if you want. So 2 are really worth it. So if you're going to get 1, make an investment on 2. They become really versatile. You can use them in balancing poses as well. So a great prop to have. The last one, the other one I'd like to mention is a strap. And they come in various lengths, 6, 8, 10. I think 10 foot is the longest, but I'm not sure. This is a rather long one. 8 foot is plenty. And they just really make it nice. One of the most common ways we might use them is on our backs. And you can place the strap around the ball of your foot. And that enables you to allow the hands to slide down the strap, relax your neck, shoulders, right? So they can be relaxed. You're not having to try to grab the foot or back here. But again, just finding the stretch here along the strap. So that's the most common way. You can use a belt. If you have a belt at home, you could use that too if you don't want to purchase the strap. But they're really nice too. Sometimes they're seated poses we use them for. But again, probably not the one I would say is the most important to get. If you're on a budget and you have to make choices, I would say the 2 blocks and a blanket would be priority, or even 2 blankets, and because that is the most versatile in how you fold it. The last thing I want to show you is a bolster. Now, bolsters are just really great for support. You can sit on them just like I've shown you a couple times with the blanket and the block. They're also really nice for placing underneath the knees. So as we come on our backs for Shavasana, that might be a nice way to support the low back, is underneath the knees. And then if we're doing any restorative poses, they become really useful in a lot of different poses in that particular type of practice. But again, probably the least important in regards to what we use most often if you're on a budget. So I hope that helps you. I would highly encourage you to really find your own props. Even though right now we're in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, when this is, when we're back out communicating in person again and not having to do the social distancing, and we come to yoga classes, it's highly unlikely that after every single class your teacher can sanitize every prop that gets used. So just like we love to have our own yoga mats, I think the props are just as important, and I would welcome you to make that investment. You can go to huggermugger.com. They have a lot of great props. And you can also go to yogaaccessories.com. They have some more discounted prices. So for those of you on a budget, that might be more helpful. And you can find all the props there on either one of those websites. So I hope this is helpful to you. And anything that can help to support your yoga practice, I welcome. So thank you for being here.